they've already said, I want this coffee. You could do an order bump going, hey, would you like to double your order? Add another one and I'll give you 50% off your second one. Or you could say add 2 more and we buy 2, get 1 free. So you configure that order bump to where you're getting more money of them buying the same exact thing they're already buying, which is one of my greatest hacks there is. It's like, if you're not offering people more of what they're already ordering, you're leaving money on the table.
Welcome to the Ecommerce with me, your host, Matt Edmondson. The Ecommerce podcast is all about helping you deliver e-commerce wow. And to help us do just that, I am chatting with today's very special guest, Mr. Greg Reiter from Launchcart, about boosting your e-commerce revenue, strategies to increase your average order value. Oh yes, but before Greg and I dive into our conversation, which I'm very much looking forward to because I, like you, want to increase my average order value, let me share with you my podcast pick. Oh yes, a previous episode or two that I think you are going to enjoy. Check out the episode I did called How to Take Small Steps to Grow Your E-Commerce Profits with Tony, which was just, Tony's such a legend. You definitely want to check that out. And also check out my wonderful conversation, Maximizing the Lifetime Value of a Customer with Valentin Radu. You can find both of those, both my podcast picks and our entire archive of podcast episodes for free on our website, which is ecommercecast.net. Plus, if you're there, sign up to our newsletter and we'll send out the links to the podcast picks along with the notes from today's show that I'm going to have this amazing conversation with Greg. All of those notes will get delivered to your inbox totally free, totally automatically, totally amazing, which I think is pretty amazing. So make sure you sign up. Now, are you struggling to grow your e-commerce business? Do you feel like you're constantly spinning a million plates trying to figure out what to focus next? Well, let me tell you, I have been there and I know how frustrating it can be, which is why we're excited that the e-commerce cohort sponsors this show. E-commerce cohort helps e-commerce businesses like yours deliver an exceptional customer experience that drives results. And to help you get started, we're excited to announce a brand new free resource for you called E-commerce Cycles. It's a mini course which walks you through our pre-work for building a successful e-com business. I will show you the specific steps that I take in my own e-commerce companies so you can see exactly how to put these concepts into practice in your own business. And the good news is, of course, it's completely free. You don't even need an email address. So just head over now to access it at ecommercecycles.com. Just do me a favor. Let me know what you think. That's ecommercecycles.com to access training and get started today. It's time to start delivering e-commerce wow to your customers with the help of e-commerce cohort. Yes, it is. But like I say, let me know what you think. Genuinely, really curious. Now, Greg Reiter is known as the go-to guy for entrepreneurs who need advice. He's been around the block for over 35 years, doing everything from corporate finance to sales and marketing. Greg made big bucks in e-commerce using the same strategies he shares in his seminars and keynotes, which you've probably heard because he told me before we hit the record button, he's been on over 700 stages. Oh yes. Nowadays, he is running the show at Launchcart, a SaaS e-commerce platform that he founded himself, which we're going to get into. Greg, absolutely amazing to have you here, man. Thanks for coming on the show. Really appreciate it. How are you doing, my friend?
Life, man. Loving life. And thanks for having me. I look forward to sharing whatever wisdom and knowledge and advice I can with any e-commerce guys out there that want to help avoid some landmines, because I've stepped on all the landmines, so I want to help you avoid the ones that I missed.
Yeah. I think it's really funny, isn't it? I often get introduced as the e-commerce has had more failures than successes. It's just, I often say to people, my successes far outweigh my failures. But I think you learn more from the landmines, right? From the failures than from anything else. And I think that experience in life is something quite wonderful. So let's jump into this. Greg, why do people refer to you as the entrepreneur's best friend? I'm really curious. This is something that Sadat's put in the notes here, the producer, and I'm intrigued, my friend.
Yeah. So you ever read the book Rich Dad Poor Dad?
I have. Guy Kawasaki, I think, was the author.
Yeah. Yeah. So actually, it was not Guy Kawasaki. That was the Garage.com.
Yes, it
Rich
was.
Dad Poor Dad was by now just
Robert.
blank my mind.
Yeah, Robert.
Uh,
I know who you mean. I can picture him in my head as well.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Me too. It'll come to me in a second. But anyway, I always tell people that book was written about me. I was born into a really, really wealthy family from Denver, Colorado, and there's like they built homes and sky rises and restaurants and
Oh
bars,
wow.
and like in downtown Denver, amongst all the high risers, there's a whole square block named Ryder Square after my family. And my parents got divorced when I was 2. I went with my mom. My mom got married and divorced, and married again. So I had 3 stepdads and my rich dad.
Wow.
And my rich dad taught me to invest when I was 19 years old. And then I ended up getting my stockbroker's license when I was 20, 21. And then I read Think and Grow Rich and started getting into Jim Rohn and Dennis Waitley and Zig Ziglar and Brian Tracy and Tony Robbins. And I thought to myself, this guy that I'm working for is taking 50% of my paycheck. I'm going to buy him out. So I go to my dad and I go, Dad, I want to buy out the guy I work for. He goes, go for it. So that mindset and that mentality that you can do whatever you can. My dad was very supportive of that. So was my mom. Anyway, I bought the firm I worked for, and I was hailed as the youngest owner of an investment bank in the history of the United States of America.
Wow.
And that was the first big mistake in my life.
What, owning the bank or being the youngest owner? Or maybe both?
Yeah, both. Yeah, because really Wall Street just ate me for lunch. It's like they'd give me $1 million and take 2, and then give me another 2 million and take 3, and it's just like, whoa, this little Ponzi scheme of Wall Street was killing me. But I will say this: I really became an early adopter, and I was always financing and raising money for companies and doing IPOs for the early stage companies. So, example, Home Shopping Network. I raised them their original seed capital. The guy came in the office, and hey, we're going to start a television station, 724, 365, and sell stuff direct to consumers. And then back in the early 80s, there was only 3 stations. Cable was just coming out. No one had ever given their credit card over the phone. But yet, I believed in him, and we ended up raising him some money. And I actually I'm a copycat marketer, but they do a few original things. And one of them was I coined this term torrential downpour economics.
Okay.
And that is when an investor believes in an entrepreneur, right? And that entrepreneur goes on to create something that creates this torrential downpour of economics, not trickle down, torrential downpour. So you think about the Home Shopping Network, right?
Yeah.
Think of the billions and billions and billions of dollars in jobs from all the TV stations, from all the advertising, from all the inventors, from the shipping people, from the manufacturing people, just all of the people that business touched.
Yeah.
Torrential downpour economics. So anyway, that was kind of my life. And so my first 18, 20 years of my life, I did that. Then I retired from the investment banking career and I started Angel Investors Network, which was one of the very first angel groups online. And I started coaching and mentoring thousands and thousands of early stage entrepreneurs and inventors. And I've done that pretty much my whole life. I'm 61 years old, and I've been doing this since I was 21. And my little bio needs to get updated because it's now closer to 40 years, right?
Wow.
And over that time, I've helped everybody from doing, the napkin stage to, getting their business plans and their financial projections and raising the capital, investors and strategy, to guys that are going from 10 million to 100 million, right? So and that's kind of how I got the entrepreneur's best friend. And like I said, you learn so much more from those failures and successes. And again, because of me being a financial backer, I have the wisdom and insights of failures of multiple different industries and multiple different sectors and multiple different verticals. So it even gave me a little bit more, insights. And now I am an entrepreneur. So that's that story.
Whistle stop tour. And I love your energy. You're in your 60s and you're still sounding pretty passionate about the whole thing, which is fantastic. But
I appreciate that.
Before we get into a whole bunch of questions, which I have, my overarching question, Greg, because I can see you, right? We record this on video, and if you're watching on YouTube, you will see exactly what I'm seeing. What is that record on the wall behind you?
Oh, so that was a little award that I got for doing $1 million in 1 week on ClickFunnels.
Wow.
Yeah, so they give you these different awards, and we did $1 million in 5 days online. Now, I'm a big e-commerce guy. I actually bought. And when I retired from the e-commerce industry or from the investment banking world, and I moved out here to San Diego, in 1997, there was a mall, an internet mall, called First Net Mall, one ST Net Mall, and I bought that mall. It was like one of the very first and most successful e-commerce sites on the internet in 1997, and that was before we even had Google and Yahoo, and there was like these other search engines that indexed alphabetically. So if you typed in shopping mall or shop online, it came up number one because it was First Net Mall.
Yeah. No,
and that was another big mistake in life, because as soon as Google and the related searches came through, that mall just died. But it was a drop shipping mall. Can you believe that? Drop shipping back in 1997.
Wow. It's funny, isn't it? And these things come back around again, and you do. I think you see things in cycles, don't you? You do see things come and go, and you're just like, oh, that'll be back in 6 years' time. That'll be back. Yeah. So, what were you selling via ClickFunnels, if I can ask, that created such dynamic sales in 5 days?
Actually, it was the very first reiteration of our e-commerce platform. It was a WordPress plugin for e-commerce that had funnels, and it had upsells, downsells, cross sells, and all kinds of really cool features and functionality that you didn't get on Shopify and you didn't get on WooCommerce. And then that led me to be a WordPress support company. Because it was a WordPress plugin, I signed up thousands of people on this platform, and then I'm like, dude, what are we doing all day? WordPress support. Like, okay, and that's one of the reasons why we created LaunchCart. It's like, okay, we're going to create our own platform.
So, I mean, again, if you're watching on video, one of the things that the viewer will notice about you, Greg, is you are properly merched up, right? I feel quite inadequate in terms of, I have no merch onto me today whatsoever. But you are very merched up with the hat and the hoodie there. So what is LaunchCart?
So LaunchCart, entrepreneurs solve problems, right? So whenever somebody starts talking about problems, I say to myself, some entrepreneur is going to fix that. Like that's what we do, right? Mm-hmm. And so a little background is I ended up starting a company. I invested in a company called Star Shop, and it was a celebrity-driven shopping app, and it had all these big celebrities in it. And I went out to New York City to visit my investment, and I met the guy that was bringing in these celebrities. And I had this idea. I said, hey, I want to start a company called Celebrity Lifestyle Brands, and I want to basically partner with these Kylie Jenners of the world, and these influencers, and help them build a brand, help them monetize through e-commerce, but help them with asset protection and, and building wealth and brand equity and all the things that kind of my background and my experience would kind of help people with. And so not really as a paid for service. And my partner, he said, let's do this together. And I'm like, why? He goes, well, I launched Jennifer Lopez's brand, Nicki Minaj's brand, Adam Levine's brand. He's a whale. So he's like, and I'm wrapping up the stuff I'm doing with Tommy Hilfiger. So anyway, we formed this company called Celebrity Lifestyle Brands. Next thing you know, I'm doing stuff and doing e-commerce for Carlos Santana and Bethany Frankel, and consulting with the Sofia Vergara brand, working on all these big celebrities. And one thing with e-commerce is celebrities, that little, I call it the pixie dust, right? Your lead cost is cheaper, your AOV is more, your customer acquisition cost is down. So we started doing millions and millions of dollars on Shopify. And this goes back to 2015, 2016, 2017. And if you know anything about Shopify, you know that it's an app-driven platform. So you have to get an app for this and an app for that and an app for this. I mean, for God's sakes, you have to get an app for customer reviews. How do you have an e-commerce platform in today's age without customer reviews? And so when we were working with these celebrity-driven sites, it was like, we have 13, 14, 15 apps, and the bill's $1,300 a month coming out of the gate. And it's like, this is ridiculous. And I remember just going to support one day and typing in Shopify support, and I saw their stock quote. I didn't even know they were publicly traded. And I went, right. And I got this investment banking background, so I went down that rabbit hole, and I even took a screenshot. It was September. It was 2018, and the screenshot showed they had a $10.2 billion market cap. And I thought to myself, what? This company's got a $10 billion market cap? I'm like, dude, we've got to put this business on hold, and we got to go create LaunchCart and get back in this game, because we have the crystal ball. We know the pain points, right? And I want to have a platform that, one, has the what I call the must-have features built into it, and then have the should-have features built into it. And so LaunchCart really is nothing more than a Shopify alternative that we've been building over the last 4 years. And I think of it as speed to market's faster. It's easier. And one of the reasons it's easier is it doesn't do everything you can do on Shopify, right? That scope creep and feature creep gets people going down these rat holes they shouldn't go down as a marketer. And then we built in the must-haves and some of the should-haves into the platform natively to kind of get things going. And then I have another story about dropshipping that kind of added on to that. But that's kind of what LaunchCart is. It's just a basic e-commerce platform that we feel is going to be a better, faster, higher converting e-commerce platform for people that want to sell online.
And you guys, it's great. So you guys have been around, what, 5 or 6 years now,
Well,
doing that?
we incorporated in 2019, and we officially launched last in February of 2022.
Oh, okay. So quite a sort of a new venture, as it were.
Yeah, exactly.
And so, how's it been going then so far?
Well, because we have a freemium model, and you can actually go sign up for free, and we'll take 6% of your sales, and you can use our platform with no monthly fees. We've had 44,000 people sign up on the platform with basically no marketing, just word of mouth and people talking about it. And we have some e-commerce, what I call influencers like yourself, who go take a look at the platform and go, this is easier to onboard than Shopify. It's easier to get people up and going. And then we also integrated with a few of the print on demand, manufacture on demand companies. So you can basically get your t-shirt and your merch store launched in a matter of hours and be selling stuff online, and very, very quickly.
Fantastic. And what suppliers, merch suppliers, t-shirt suppliers? The reason I'm asking this, Greg, is more for my son, actually, who is thinking of doing something online like that to try and finance his way through college or university, as I would call it. So I'm just kind of curious.
Very cool. Yeah, no, right now we integrate with Printful, which is one of the world's largest companies. And they're a little bit more expensive than some of the other providers, but they also got, they're also like a $1.3 billion company. They got 135 million in funding in 2021. And and they also have a global footprint. They've got facilities in Latvia, if I say that right. Am I saying that right? Latvia. Japan, Latvia, yeah, and Japan, and Australia, and Canada, United States. So they have a worldwide footprint, which is good. And then we integrated with Printify, which Printify is that kind of like integrations with a whole bunch of small mom and pop and other vendors.
Yeah.
And we're going to be integrating with more and more as the customer base requests it as well.
Fantastic. So, do you have yet? Or are you still waiting on the stories to arrive? As sort of a favorite story of someone that sort of signed up and just managed to hit a vein and is going forward in a big way?
You know what's interesting? We've had a couple of political customers do that, right? That got on the platform and launched their, selling their yard signs and their bumper stickers and their T-shirts and hats. They do a couple $100,000 in a few months during the political campaigns. But no one that's really busted out and had one of those, those 50,000 shirt seller type things yet. But they're coming, and we're just now in the marketing space. And we had a really cool thing. We had a really cool guy join our board of directors. And we're doing we got some really cool stuff and again, that piece of it, the launch cart piece, is 1/3 of really what the entrepreneurial, my vision of what I want to build.
Oh, so what are the other 2/3? If I've got 1/3 of it, what's the other 2/3?
Okay, so I got to tell you a quick little story, another war story, right?
Go for it.
So as we're building launch cart, I had some friends that were doing drop shipping from China, right? Using Alibaba and AliExpress and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So we said, hey, let's start doing some drop shipping. And let's see what those pain points are. So as we're building launch cart, we can fix those pain points as well. So we got into drop shipping, and our first month we did about 1.1 million, and then we did 1 million. Anyway, in 8 months we did 400,000 sales. I collected 400,000 credit cards, and did 17 million in revenues off of spending $7 million in ad spend with about a 15% net profit.
Wow.
Now I don't know anybody else who's done that many sales. Now, again, why was I able to do that? Like people, I always like to quantify things, as a trainer and a teacher. Is like, one is I had money. Like seriously, when I wanted to scale something and do $100,000 a day ad spend, I had the money to do that. And we literally were spending 50, 60, 70, $100,000 a day, because you're not going to do $1 million. You're not going to do those kind of numbers if you're not spending the kind of money. That's one. Two, I also had 45 people in the Philippines doing support. I had 7 people spying on products and trying to find the products we're selling. And it just kind of got out of it. Just kind of mushroomed. And it actually, thinking back, it was a huge mistake. It was a little bit of a distraction, but it just grew so fast. And that cash coming in, you're this entrepreneur going, this is incredible, man. We sold 5,000 people today.
Yeah.
So that's the good news. Okay, that's the good news. The bad news is my China supplier didn't ship the last 50,000 products.
Wow.
They started shipping out empty envelopes, and I started getting thousands and thousands and thousands of support tickets going, hey, I got an empty envelope.
Wow.
So I went from working with all these celebrities, doing e-commerce, millions of dollars a month in revenues, a whole team, blowing and going, to I was out of business in 45 days. And with my background and my history, I was just like, wow, if it can happen to me, it can happen to anyone type thing. Because I was blown away. But basically, because I started giving refunds, and we gave like 50,000 refunds. Every bank account, every merchant account was shut down. The merchant account shut down, and then the banks talked to the banks, and PayPal talked to Chase, and Chase, boom, everything shut down. So anyway, that kind of took me to my knees, and and praying some more. But that story led me to this. Is now I said, okay, I got to fix that problem, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm building launch cards, this SaaS platform. Now I'm going to build the dropshipping marketplace that we call the Source and Sell Marketplace.
Okay.
And the Source and Sell Marketplace is a marketplace that we're building where brands and manufacturers can upload and put their products in the Source and Sell Marketplace, and then allow launch cart sellers to sell those products on a dropship basis. Now we're going to rebrand it, and we're going to rebrand the whole industry as on-demand e-commerce and on-demand product sourcing, because I want to get away from the dropshipping negative connotation. I want to I want to be number one in the category. So I was coach entrepreneurs for years. If you want to be number one in the category, create your category. Right? So we're going to do the on-demand product sourcing, the on-demand e-commerce, and that's the second piece of the 3-piece. And you go, okay, what's the third piece? Well, the third piece is banking as a service with blockchain. Well, what do you mean by that? What I mean by that is now when you come into LaunchCart, when this is all said and done, you're going to get a bank account, right? And then when we onboard customers into and vendors and manufacturers and brands into the Source and Sell Marketplace, they're going to get a bank account. So now when you come shopping at my site, let's say one of my sites is called Rescue Joe. It's a coffee brand. Drink a cup, save a pup, and we donate money to dog rescues, right?
Okay.
And you come and you buy my coffee, and you're getting ready to go to checkout, and it says, wait, before you go, would you like to add a French press to your order? But I don't sell French presses, but my predictive analytics, AI is everything these days, right? The AI and predictive analytics, it says, hey, this guy's also looking for a French press. It pulls a French press from the marketplace and puts it in front of the customer to increase the average order value. As well as the lifetime value of the customer. And then if I add that French press to my order and I check out, at the point of purchase, the money for the cost of goods of that French press gets deposited into the manufacturer, that French press bank account. And I get my commission into my bank account. So that solves a whole bunch of problems. One is the real brands are worried about digital marketers and blow and go crooks selling stuff online, taking the money, shutting the store down, open up another store, and taking the money and running. So they're never going to let you sell, Prada or Louis Vuitton or any real brand, because they're more protected about brand protection. But now that I split the payment off at the point of purchase and they get paid instantly, they're pretty happy about that. Two, as an entrepreneur, when I was doing those 400,000 sales, it was an accounting nightmare. Can you imagine 400,000 orders? We probably sold 300 or 400, 500 different products. So money's going to different vendors, refunds, different vendors. It was a nightmare. My accounting department could not figure it out, could not keep up with it. But now if we do it at the point of purchase and it's all with technology and it's all recorded on the blockchain, boom. Now as an entrepreneur, I don't do any bookkeeping. And then we're going to take in, we're going to book in, we're going to figure out the whole tax situation and automatically pay the taxes. Because now, every state in the United States wants their little tax cut for the internet sales. So we're just going to figure out that whole banking as a service. And then we'll give you a debit card and we'll give you a bank account and you'll be able to transfer funds online. And we might become one of the biggest, banking partners in the world if we can put a few million people on our platform. And then it also lowers the barrier of entry for people in places like Bangladesh or South Africa or Ghana and these other parts of the world where they have a hard time getting a bank account.
Yeah. Wow.
So that's the 3 pieces of the puzzle. That's the 3 pieces of the puzzle. And what you can do with that at the end of the day is unparalleled to anybody else in the marketplace.
Yeah. It sounds, you've got a lot going on there, Greg. I'm not going to lie, you, a lot going on. That sounds awesome. And I can see why you're going down the road that you're going down. And I'm listening to you talk going, well, that makes sense. That makes sense. So I'm not listening here going, well, why would you do that? That doesn't make any sense. It's all obvious now when you've sort of joined all the technologies together and you kind of go, yeah, I can see how that would work. I'm especially excited with the fact that now people in Bangladesh can start trading on a worldwide platform much easier as well. Because I think the globalization of the markets, it's fine if you live in the UK, it's fine if you live in the States, but it's never been that fine if you live in sub-Saharan Africa or something like that. So it'll be interesting to see what happens when those guys can actually start coming on and playing the same game, really.
Yeah.
So obviously, I mean, a lot of passion, a lot of drive, a lot of stuff going on there. And the title of today's podcast, Boost Your E-commerce Revenue Strategies to Increase Your Average Order Value. So let's dig into that a little bit, some of the stuff that you've discovered along the way. And I'm imagining, Greg, you figured some stuff out and you've gone, that needs to be a feature in Launch Cart because that's going to increase average order value, right? So what are some of the things you deliberately added to Launch Cart to help increase average order value, and why did you add them?
I'll tell you that. So let me add let me squeeze one little thing in there that also ties into this. So one of the first things we did is we wanted to have a checkout page editor. So to me, the checkout page, right, is the most important page on the website because that's the moment of truth. That's when you're giving me your credit card. So we gave our users the ability to add images, like on my Rescue Joe, again, I have a phone number that says, hey, you got questions? Call me right now. And I put my phone number on there. Do I ever get a call? No, but it increases trust.
Yeah.
Right. And then you can put trust seals on the checkout page. You can put countdown timers and scarcity timers on the countdown page. You can add images to not your countdown page, to your checkout page. So we call that the checkout page editor, which is the beginnings of, increasing that's going to increase your conversions because it increases your trust. Then the next thing
actually, sorry to interrupt, Greg, that's quite a differential with Shopify. Because this has always been one of the pain points that people have with Shopify. And don't get me wrong, I like Shopify. Shopify is a great platform. We've used it a lot over the years. But the reason I am not a solely Shopify man for my own sites is because you can design the site, you can't design the checkout. There's very little flexibility, right?
Right. You can if you're on their Shopify Plus program for $2,000 and you have some really good coders.
Yeah.
So,
well, you can now. I mean, it's not always been the case, has it? I mean, it's a sort of a more recent thing with Shopify. Yeah.
Right. So we built in that. So that helps increase your conversions, right? Then you say, okay, then what can help increase your AOV? And that's like an order bump. So right on the checkout page, we allow you to add an order bump with a little red checkered box or not a red checkered box. You can kind of customize how the order bump box looks. But we kind of coach people, let's say I'm selling my Rescue Joe coffee or a shirt, and I know they probably have a rescue dog, then maybe I have a digital ebook that says, hey, how to potty train your rescue dog or something along those lines. So now I have a digital download, which we also allow digital downloads with our platform. And so now I can have that order bump going, hey, add this digital download to about $7. Yep, cool. Let me add that to there. Or like we did a test with a Shopify store selling jewelry, and we did a test where we offered wrapping, where you wrap the gift, gift. And our order bump. Now they had an app that they had installed on Shopify, but our order bump outperformed their order bump like 3-1. Theirs was converting at about 22%. Ours converted at 75%. And you start tracking those numbers. So really, order bumps is the very first thing you do to increase your average order value.
Can I ask, why would yours outperform 3-1? What was different about the way you did the order bump?
Well, their order bump was on the product page. So you're buying. You've seen those before, right? On Shopify, Shopify apps, it's the order bumps. They add gift wrapping on the product page.
Yeah.
Whereas when we offered on the checkout page, it converted 3-1. So that's just another insight going, there you go. Right. And again, I wouldn't have known that unless we tested it.
Yeah. Well, that's really interesting. And for those that are maybe new to e-commerce, Greg, just explain what you mean by order bump, just so we're sort of all clear on terminology.
Okay. Well, you know what? And the other thing we always tell people is you're experiencing it every day, right? Would you like fries with that Coke, or would you like Coke with those fries, right?
Yeah.
So it's like you're just trying to add something at the point of checkout to their order that's relevant to their order, or is going to be additive to their order, or maybe in a lot of situations it's just order more of the same. If they've already said, I want this coffee, you could do an order bump going, hey, would you like to double your order? Add another one and I'll give you 50% off your second one.
Yeah.
Or you could say add 2 more and we buy 2, get 1 free. So you configure that order bump to where you're getting more money of them buying the same exact thing they're already buying, which is one of my greatest hacks there is. It's like, if you're not offering people more of what they're already ordering, you're leaving money on the table.
Very good. Very good. I'm just making notes as we go along. So we've got the order bump. And you're either selling another product or you're selling more of what you're already offering to the client. What else have you got on your note list?
Well, going back to the whole funnels and the upsells and the downsells. So now we actually, built in, funnels and, upsells and downsells. So with our platform, you can do up to 5 upsells or downsells. So, and what I mean by upsells, again, for those of you maybe not familiar with that, is now I've checked out, I put in my credit card, I hit checkout. So now the credit card has been charged for that first order that's in the cart. Now, what happens is with the technology for good visualizations, now that credit card's floating in space. And then another order comes up, and you've probably seen this before in some site. Wait, before you go, would you like to, like, again, if I'm buying some coffee, maybe I want to sell them a coffee grinder. Maybe I want to sell them another t-shirt. Maybe I want to sell them something else.
Yeah.
Wait, before you go, would you like me to add this to your order, and we'll give you free shipping, or we'll give you a discounted thing, and you can do an upsell. So that's called an upsell, right? And if they add it to their order, we bill the credit card again before we cancel the transaction. So that credit card, so they don't have to go and put their credit card back in again. It's there. And then if we do that upsell, we can do them another upsell and another upsell, or we do what's called a downsell, which is they say no to that. Then you can say, well, if you didn't buy that, maybe you might want to buy this, and you do what's called a downsell. And then really that's just a lower priced product. You're just trying to upsell them again, but it's called a downsell because we're giving them a lower priced product. And now you maybe try to upsell them that digital download or that ebook or something that's lower priced and get more money of them. And it's and you know what you hear all the time is, oh, I hate those. And it's like, yeah, but the guys cashing the checks don't hate those, right? Because statistically, there's it's like 12%, usually on the low. If you have it done right and you understand the concept of this, you should be getting a 10 to 12% conversion post checkout on an upsell or downsell, and you can get as much as 30%. Right? So that's a big, big, big deal when you're trying to make money, profit, and especially now where you go back to when we were 2015, 16, 17, and even 2018. Our customer acquisition cost was $3, $5, $8, $10. Now it's 15, 18, 20, 25, 30, right? So we have to figure out a way to get people to put more into their cart and add more into their cart. And it's really not hard, but you have to just think it through as well, what product goes with what product, and how do you do that?
It's really interesting. And one of the things that has always intrigued me by the upsell thing, and Greg, maybe you can speak to this a little bit, was that if I do an order bump, so let's say the original product was $20, and then I do an order bump, and that product is $15 with an offer. So then the customer's going, well, now I was prepared to spend 20, and now I'm spending 35. They're seeing it collectively. Yeah, I've got a great offer there, but I'm still seeing the total price. Whereas on the upsell, they've gone through checkout, and you're selling them a product, promoting the product on the upsell. They don't see it as a combined figure anymore. It's not like, well, if I now add this, it's a total of 35 because the first transactions happened. Well, that was 25. That was $20 over there. Well, this is a separate thing for $15, and it stops them adding the two numbers together. I don't know if that's true. That was something that I heard, and I wonder if you can speak to that.
I believe it is true, and again, I think it goes back to the personality types of the person that's on the other end of that computer. But I do believe it is true and it just goes back to making killer offers and killer prices. And it's normally $45, but you can get it for. And again, you think about this. Hey, can you? Oh, here's one right here. Here's a good example for those of you who are on YouTube. So I'm holding what's called a spin gym, right? And this is like a little fitness thing, right? And so this is a little fitness thing that sells for $40. Wow. Okay, the cost on it's $8. They sold 2 million of these on Home Shopping Network, right? So if my cost is $8, right, and I want to sell them, this is another one I sell more of the same, right? So it's like, hey, you just bought one for $40, buy 3 of them, and I'll give you 2 more for $40. Right? So it's buy 2 get 1 free, and then buy 5 of them, and I'm going to lower the price down to where it's maybe I don't even know what we did there, but just so much significantly lower. They go, wow, that's a smoking deal. And then you can also make it make sense because you should have one in your car, you should have one at your office, you should take one when you travel, you should give one to your spouse, you should give one to your friend. So it's a great it fits all those models of what you want to do. And so I'm always trying to coach people going, what is that hero product that you can do that fits with the upsells, the downsells, sell more of the same to get the customer in the door, because it's much easier to get them to buy again or buy something else through email marketing and that kind of stuff down the road if you have them as a customer. So it's always, and specifically when I'm running ads, right? So if you're running ads, you got to really think, what's that hero product? And again, stickers. I got these stickers that says, I love my rescue dog, and it's come get your free sticker. And then when they get to our landing page, that's the other thing that Launchcart did to increase your average order value and your conversions, is we built in pages. So now rather than sending to a shopping store, we can send you to a long form sales page. And it's like, hey, get these stickers, just pay shipping and handling, a 10-pack, right? And now I get that credit card out. And I always tell people, the minute you got that credit card out, even if it's $1 free trial, $7, $3 for shipping, they just became a customer versus a prospect. And a customer is going to read your emails. They're going to pay more attention to you. And it's a whole different relationship the minute they pay for something.
That's really important. It's a psychology aspect of it, isn't it? Which says if they've given me their credit card, like you say, they're a customer. And that's really important. They call it the micro yes, don't they? And getting people to say yes, even to something small like that, is a big deal. So what, out of your experience here, Greg, the stuff that you found, how do you distinguish between what's a good product, what's a good order bump, and what's a good upsell? How would I know which products to put in which place, if that makes sense?
Yeah, and you know what? I always tell people I'm really good at marketing. I'm probably one of the top digital marketers on the planet. I mean, when you spend $7 million of your own money on Facebook ads and Google ads and all that kind of stuff, you get really good at it, right?
you find a few things out, right? You learn a few things. Yeah.
And when it's your money, you pay a little bit more attention than if it's,
it's true. It's true. Yeah.
But I tell people, as good as I am, I'm only right maybe half the time. The audience is always right, so it's always about split testing. I could look at a product and go, "That's a great product. It's fly off the shelves," and it's if you're not A/B split testing constantly, right? And it's always about the customer journey, the landing page, the product page, the checkout page, the upsells, downsell pages, and there's optimizations you can do at every single stage of the customer journey, and they even back up to the Facebook ads, the headline on the ad, the image on the ad, the video on the ad. That customer journey. It's always about, can I increase 1 or 2 percentage points on this piece of the customer journey, then 1 or 2% here, and then 1 or 2% here, and then 1 or 2% here, and now in that 3 or 4 or 5-step customer journey, I've increased it 7 or 8%. That's the difference between going broke and making money. So, and then it's always different. So if I'm doing a t-shirt brand, right, or I'm trying to sell some graphic tees because I'm a 12-year-old or a 14-year-old and I love skateboarding or I love snowboarding. Well, now we use spy tools, and there's spy tools where you can go look at Amazon, you can go look at Etsy, and you can just type in, surfboard, or surfing, graphic tees, or you can type in anything and, rescue dog graphic tees, and you'll see all the designs come up. And then the spy tools can actually tell you which ones are selling, which ones aren't selling. Then you go, okay, look at that design's selling. Yeah. Okay, so let me take that design and make it mine. Like, we don't ever tell people, rip it off and copy people, make it yours. Take the same concept, make it stuff, and make it yours. And then you got at least you have an edge up to know that, hey, people are actually buying that design. And then the last piece of that question, I think that I would say is, building brands, selling products, when and if you can, it's emotion. Like, what can you do to bring emotion out? So there's a new client that we're going to be onboarding into the Source and Sell marketplace. And I've never said this publicly, but I'm going to share it with you. This is so cool. These guys have a technology to print words, personalized words on roses. So wow. I could send roses to my wife that says, "I love you, Mary, Happy Valentine's, Mary, Merry Christmas, Mary," and it's printed in white lettering on a red rose. And we're just trying to get with them. They do this on a local basis, but we're trying to get them to figure out the supply side of it so they can ship them all over the world and then kind of hook that stuff up. And they said their number one seller is, "I'm sorry." People say, "I'm sorry."
Wow. Right. So that's wow. So I just need to figure out how to print "I'm sorry" on a red rose, and I'll clean up. But that's really ingenious.
So you think about the emotion that product that does, and that also can deliver. And same thing with jewelry and say gifts for Valentine's Day and birthdays and anniversaries. And again, we're always telling people, look, there's cyclical stuff to e-commerce, and you know this more than anybody, right? It's like we have all of our holidays. If you're not really putting stuff together, like we just had St. Patrick's Day, and I see a lot of people just like blip on St. Patrick's Day. St. Patrick's Day is one of the biggest T-shirt and graphic tees of the season. People
Right.
love that stuff. So, and it's such an easy target to target, right? The Irish, St. Patty Day lovers. So you got to go after the holidays, and you got to be just real cognizant of what you're doing. So, your question is a good question, but it could be different based on holidays, could be different based on time of year. But one thing that's always consistent is if you can get people to feel something. We always teach people when you're building a brand, they might forget what you say, they might forget what you do, but they'll never forget how you make them feel.
Yeah.
So
that's such a powerful statement, isn't it? Greg, earlier on you touched on this topic of reviews with Shopify, one of the big problems with Shopify. So I'm guessing with Launchcart, you've got a review system built in. Yep. How have you seen reviews affect, say, average order value? And what's your strategy for getting people to leave reviews, good reviews?
Well, that's a good question. So it's critical, and it's really hard for people that are new, right? Because you don't have any reviews, and so people are coming to your new store and there isn't any reviews. So it's really, really critical that you do solicit reviews. Now, what I suggest people do, and this is getting easier, and I haven't done what I'm getting ready to say. I'm going to tell you what I do and what I've done, and I'm going to tell you what's coming. And what I've done is I've used this technology called BombBomb, and it's a video recording program where I record a video. So you're the owner of the store. Hey, this is Greg, and I just want to say thank you so much for purchasing, that Rescue Joe coffee. It's going to go. We're going to help support Rescue Joe dogs and blah, and I just love it. You're going to be getting your product in about 3 to 5 days. And actually, I try to time the video to hit their inbox about within 24 to 48 hours of them getting the actual product, right?
Yeah.
So if you can time that, then you just say, we really would appreciate a review. We're doing a lot of good out there, and the more reviews we have, it's going to show people out there. And if you have any problems, here's our support number. I'll call them. I will personally make sure you get the best white glove, customer service ever. And again, who does that? Like you compare yourself to every e-commerce out there. Have you ever got a video like that from the CEO or the founder of the business? And especially as a small business, we have to do stuff like that.
Yeah, totally.
Now, the other thing I've done, and Shopify has an app for this, and someday we'll probably integrate an app for this in Launchcart, but they have a postcard system that you can pay an extra $1 or $1.10 or whatever it was, and it will send a postcard out, to that customer. So I think that's another really great way as well, is to send a postcard out. Thank you for your order. And it just going over and above and stepping up. But where it's going is now with AI, you can record a video and it'll like merge your lips. And, because again, the whole thing is if I record a video that's generic, it's better than nothing. But if I record a video that says, hey, Matt, thanks for your order, and I recorded your name, they go, wow, that guy just took the time to make a video for me.
Yeah.
So you use these new AI tools to record a video, and then boom, pop that video out to every order you got, and then that link, and then you can do that in your sequence to getting. We have a three email sequence that goes out to ask for reviews. You can just put that video right in your sequence.
That's really clever, really good. So what's in the other 2 emails? You've got your 3 email sequence. So one of them's with the video. What else do you think works?
Really, it's just pulling on human emotion as to, and again, because we're working with a lot of early stage, companies and doing print on demand stuff. I always tell people, you got to tell your story. You got to do like the indoctrination emails, like who you are, what you're about. And, I'm a single, stay at home mom. And, I am, handicapped, or I got fired because I didn't want to take, whatever it is, right? They need to try to indoctrinate their customers to an emotional pull to who they are, and let them know that you're a human being and they're buying and supporting a human, as if I walked down Grand Avenue and I went into your store and I bought something from your gift store.
Yeah.
So I think it's that's what to me, the first 1 or 2 emails are always about indoctrination of who you are and what your business is about and your vision. Kind of like you with this today. Now it's kind of hard to do this on we got plenty of time today, but when anybody in the e-commerce world here's my vision of a Launchcart SaaS platform, a source and sell marketplace, and banking as a system, I've never had anyone go, well, I don't think that's going to fly.
Yeah.
everyone goes just what you said. Man, that's interesting. Wow, you're
Yeah.
solving that problem. Wow, you can pull that off. That'd be amazing. So.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Totally. It would be amazing. I'm really intrigued by it. Greg, listen, where do people find out more about Launchcart if they want to know more about? I'm just aware of time, so if people listening to the show go, man, this is intriguing me. I'm going to check it out. Either they're on Shopify or they're starting out, or maybe they're on a different platform looking. How do they find out more about what you guys are doing?
Yeah, it's really just launchcart.com, and we have a nice. If you search Launchcart on Facebook, we have a nice community, and we're always doing training. I have 7-figure trainers that train every week, and we have different flavors and different kinds of training, and we're always doing things we can to train, because we know that my biggest issue as a SaaS company and a businessman is I have to get you onboarded and I have to get you making sales or you're gone. And I do want to share one other thing that's really cool. Have you ever heard of the name Master P?
No.
So there's a hip hop guy, or he used to be a hip hop guy, named Master P from the South, New Orleans. He sold over 100 million albums. Wow. African American.
Yeah.
And he became one of the biggest hip hop guys. Started his own label called No Limit Records, and then he helped launch guys like Snoop Dogg and 50 Cent and a lot of these rap industries. And then he became a businessman, started buying up real estate and doing all kinds of stuff. Well, he's been a friend of mine for about 12 years. He just joined our board of directors. Oh, so wow. He's the new chairman of our board, and his influence is significant. So in honor of him joining our chairman of our board, we created this thing called the Chairman's Special. And the Chairman's Special is we have our free plan, our $27 a month plan, our $97 a month plan, and our $297 a month plan. Mm-hmm. And there's different levels of all the funnels and all the bells and whistles you get as you go up that ladder, that paywall. The $297 plan obviously is the best plan. Mm-hmm. So in honor of him joining, we created the 85% off the $297 plan. So right now, you can get the $297 plan for $43.97 a month. And we're going to do that for the first 2,023 people that sign up to commemorate 2023, the year 2023. Wow. So it's a smoking deal. And like, we're really committed to building the faster, better, higher converting e-commerce platform. And in your opening, you talked about your little recommendation of the other thing. We also have a friend of mine who has this company called LTV Numbers, and we're going to be integrating some lifetime value calculation figures into our platform. And they guarantee you they'll be the absolute best that's ever been put into an e-commerce platform, because I'm a numbers guy, and I always recognize if you can't track it, you can't optimize it. So we're going to continue to build things that help people sell more. We want to empower entrepreneurs. We want to power communities. We want to power countries. And we want to build something significant and make a difference in the world. Fantastic. Well, go get be one of the 2,000 people that get that smoking hot deal, the Chairman's Special. I assume, Greg, that's grandfathering that rate. Is that always going to be at 85% off? Yeah. Okay. Of course. Yeah. Check it out. Now, Greg, how do people reach you? How do they connect with you if they want to do that? My name is Greg Writer, and everyone's like, they think when I have the name tags at events, it's like, oh, are you a writer? And I go, yeah. What have you written? And I'm like, well, I haven't written anything, right? A SaaS platform. Yeah, exactly. So it's Greg Writer, WRITER.com. I'm on Twitter. I'm on Instagram, on Facebook. I'm everywhere. I'm very accessible. I've been online since 1997. So I'm out there, and I'm communicating and doing everything I can to empower and just share and help people. Because I believe what Zig Ziglar told me and taught me in the early 80s, help enough people get what they want and you'll get what you want. And I really do believe that, and I live it. Absolutely. Zig Ziglar, what a legend. I love that guy. I fell in love with him when I was an early entrepreneur. Just absorbed all of his tapes, which is what they were back then, weren't they? You got the tapes. You had to listen to those. Listen, Greg, thanks for coming on the show, man. Super excited to hear what you guys are doing. Love your passion and what you've got going on and your vision for the future. That's awesome. And I hope it goes super well. Maybe we'll get you back on the show in about 6-12 months time. You can tell us how it's all going and bring some great stories, I guess. I love it. I appreciate it. Appreciate you. And I always tell people, do what I do. Wake up every day with an attitude of gratitude, which is something I learned from Jim Rohn, I think. And then I added this: tell somebody you love them, and you'll have a better day.
That's very true. I like that one. I do like that one. That's awesome. Fantastic. There you have a great conversation with Greg. Big thanks to Greg again for joining me today. Also, a big shout out to today's show's sponsor, the e-commerce cohort. Remember to check out their free online training at ecommercecycles.com. Also, be sure to follow the e-commerce podcast wherever you get your podcast from, because we have got some more great conversations lined up, and I don't want you to miss any of them. Yes, I don't. So make sure you sign up. And in case no one has told you yet today, you are awesome. Created awesome. And it's just a burden you have to bear. Greg has to bear it. I have to bear it. And you, dear listener, have got to bear it as well. Now, the e-commerce podcast is produced by Orion Media. You can find our entire archive of episodes on your favorite podcast app. The team that makes this show possible is Sadaf Bainon, Estella Robin, and Tanya Hutzelak. Our theme song was written by Josh Edmondson. And as I mentioned, if you would like to read the transcript or show notes, head over to the website ecommercepodcast.net. And if you're there and you haven't done so already, sign up to the newsletter and get all of this good stuff straight to your inbox for free. Now, that's it from me. That's it from Greg. Thank you so much for joining us. Have a fantastic week wherever you are in the world. I'll see you next time. Bye for now.